Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to the National League. Arsenal are getting Gyokeres. Are they now on favorites to win the Premier League? There is a lot of articles about are Arsenal ready now to win the Premier League. The Rodrigo talk, Thomas Partey talk as well about renewing the contract, which is Egal just told us before the show about the extension for Thomas Partey. Kai Havertz as well. Does he have a future at Arsenal? Chelsea must win today against Manchester United. The big test for Enzo Maresca versus Amorim today that Chelsea must win. There is the Nkunku link to Liverpool, which is kind of very, very strange, to be honest. That hit me this morning. I don't know why would Liverpool do that. And Liverpool are leading Manchester City to sign Florian Wirtz, which is against all odds. Everyone thought that Florian Wirtz will choose Man City, but it looks like the news are coming from Germany. That is... Liverpool are leading the race behind Bayern Munich now. Let's just be honest, behind Bayern Munich. Right?
It's cap Liverpool ain't signing anything.
You know, I love the drama. I love the drama. I love the drama. When your team's not involved in transfer drama, it's always entertaining.
You are. Wait until just Chelsea win the next couple of games and watch Chelsea like Gyokeres. It's like, how much are Arsenal bidding? 80 million. Here is a 90 million.
I'll tell you more.
You know, I'm not.
We know Chelsea, and Chelsea.
I love Chelsea
looking for a striker.
I'm not
if
too
they
worried.
offload, be honest. If Chelsea offload Nkunku for 40 million, you know that they're gonna outbid Gyokeres. Yeah, you know.
Chelsea can outbid us, but we've done a lot of the groundwork. I'm confident that a lot of the groundwork that we've done can keep the player on side.
Chelsea doesn't care about groundwork. Chelsea just come on.
I understand, but they also
have
to
remember Lavia.
They don't care. They don't care.
One second. We're trying to have a rational conversation, right? So when it comes to Chelsea,
but that's really
when it comes to Chelsea, they do also have to convince players that they're the right destination for them, because some of the guys are going to be looking at Arsenal and they're going to say, you know what, I see where I can play there, and I can see that they're missing I could be that missing piece. Where you look at Chelsea and you can see some of the attackers that have come there recently, like Pedro Neto and some of these other guys, and say, you know what, they haven't hit the ground running. They've kind of struggled to acclimatize. Is this the right environment for me to jump into?
Yeah, but they're missing a striker. That's what they're missing.
Let's start there then.
Let's start there. Yeah.
I hear your point. Guys, we have started the show even before doing intro or anything. So hit that like button, right? Guys, like the video. All the guys' channels in the description. Dan releasing a video about Mbeumo and Wissa, about Xherdan Shaqiri. That was class, to be honest. That thing was absolutely brilliant. Jamie's story, of course, a lot of videos as well. Egal Talks Football. He's doing great work lately, to be honest, with all the guys on his channel, with all the vibes from the Six and everything. True City fan, which is Patrick, doing great work about City and all the stuff. And what?
That
You're
you're
mute.
introducing everybody. Yeah, I'm saying you're introducing everybody. So I was like, yeah, gang, you know. You are giving us hype. So I'm like,
It's
I
good
know it's a-
work. Listen, I enjoy
I know
some of
it's
it. To be honest with you, Jamie and Dan do these videos that are short. You're like sitting in the car, you have the video right next to you, you watch these videos, they're nice. You know what I mean? Like, just nice. And it's different. Like, Dan did some couple of videos that are just different. Nobody talks about West Ham and Buemo and Brentford and Brighton and all the teams. And nobody, like, who thought about doing content about Xherdan Shaqiri? He did.
Wait, who does that?
It doesn't get any views, by the way.
Is that you, Dan? No, but
You'll get there. But it's great. To be honest, I enjoyed that Xherdan Shaqiri thing, to be honest. I enjoyed that video. It was actually very, very good.
I appreciate
When
it.
he goes 18 assists, is fucking mad.
He's actually even better at it because he scored, I think, that night as well.
Wait, is he in America?
No, he's back at Basel, which is his hometown.
They
team.
won the league for the first time in like years.
7 years.
So what made you look into this?
That's just what I do. I just look at random football stuff.
Yeah, man's in Switzerland scored 18 goals.
Like 40 GA. It's unreal. Yeah.
Yes, 40 GA.
And by the way, if people want to go and like look at the highlights, they're unreal. Some of the goals, like Jamie will know.
I guarantee you, he's still going to be playing for Switzerland going into the next
100%.
World Cup.
He used to always score bangers. Remember when he was playing in the international competitions? Like it was guaranteed that he would score like an unbelievable.
I remember like the bicycle
tournament.
kick that he scored, like unreal, like bicycle kick. Couple of like
You know what? The first thing that I remember whenever I think of him, I think of Liverpool on the counter, him doing that one goal. I forget what goal it was. It was
West Ham.
It was a random game. It must have been the West Ham game because that was the one goal I remember from his Liverpool period. All the rest of the goals I remember from Shaqiri are from Stoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored the two. He got Mourinho sacked at United as well. That's what a lot of Liverpool fans remember for. He scored 2 goals.
He's played for Mo's team as well, actually.
He's
good,
isn't it? He's good.
Like some big.
No, he was shit. He played in a shit period for us. He was shit.
No, but he was potential.
He played for Bayern Munich also.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we're all giving him his flowers, and Mo's like, "Nah, he was shit."
He had potential.
He was shit. I'm being honest. He was shit. He was like average player at Inter. You know what I mean? Average. Because I look at my team now. 2 Champions League finals in like 3 years. We won the league once. You know, we're always challenging. We're beating the best teams in the world. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at that period at Inter, and I was like, that's just banter. That's a banter.
He's on Altovich vibes, isn't he? He's similar to like that. Like if you had him in the squad somewhere, he does a job.
You know, Arnautovic, we actually paid to get Arnautovic back.
Yeah,
which actually it wasn't free.
Best ever players, aren't they?
You know what I don't get about Italy? How is it that the team that's winning the league is just a combination of some of like
everyone knows why, right? Everyone knows why.
You guys love deals. You guys
no, it's the guy. It's like, to be honest with you,
it's a shy league.
Antonio Conte has never failed in his career. The guy has never failed. Never.
Spurs.
Didn't fail. Succeeded.
Yeah, he did. He got fucking
You know what he said? He says because he took them from a
No, hold on. You actually are. They were 10th. He joined and said we are winning. He got top 4 for them. That for them was an achievement that season.
No, but
he got them Champions League.
He also did do one ththing. He got them Kulusevski and Bentancur, and that like turned around their season.
Yeah, like he's a winner, bro. Like this guy is a real winner.
Do you think that Italy has a real good mix of all the players of like the failed generation? I think of like Mkhitaryan, Canaloglu.
All the players nobody wants.
Yeah, all those players.
I watch Mkhitaryan. I don't understand how do we have still Mkhitaryan starting week.
That's exactly what I mean. Mkhitaryan is going to play in a Champions League final. Like, what is this? Fucking 2015.
Yeah,
Mkhitaryan has had a better season than Odegaard.
Yeah,
for example.
Hey, Odegaard's having a bad year.
Do you remember that season Mkhitaryan had at Dortmund where the numbers were like
ridiculous? He's pulling up
Shinji Kagawa. Wasn't it Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, Shinji Kagawa?
Yeah.
And Aubameyang.
Aubameyang.
How old is he? He's 36.
6.
Yeah.
No way, really.
And he's nuts for Inter.
It's like it's like MLS, like Serie A. It's like that's the order. It's like the levels.
It's even worse. It's MLS, Saudi League, Serie A.
No, did you see what the Leicester player said? He said that the Portuguese league is so easy compared to the Premier League, and he only ever played 7 games. Can't think what his name is.
Oh,
but he
mosquito
said-
guy. Mosquito guy.
Yeah, he said that the Portuguese league is so easy compared to the Premier League, and he.
But
couldn't
what you
believe
get, to be
it.
honest with you, about Italian football, what you get is a lot of players go in there and say it's much harder to cope with how the coaches do instructions in the Italian
Intensity,
league than
yeah.
other leagues.
I
Like,
think that really
The
difficult
tactical
now.
battles is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the Bologna guy was talking after the final they won against Milan, and he said the amount of details Italiano puts for every single player before the game is actually ridiculous. He said that the way we train is just different.
Patrice
wanna
Patrice
know.
Evra as well said that.
But-
He said that when he went at United, he was like, and then he went to Juve. He was just like the difference in terms of intensity every single day was just crazy. He was like, it was a lot more laid back at United, but he went there. It was just so much like you have to be there. And that was a good Juventus team. I think they got to the Champions League final in 2015.
Twice.
They lost to they lost to Barca. and Madrid,
Barcelona
wasn't
3-1.
How
Yeah,
did,
Barcelona 3-1.
how did Patrice ever do in his role? Did he get a job in Italy, if I'm not mistaken?
No, he doesn't coach.
No, I meant Patrick Vieira. My apologies.
Oh,
Patrick
Vieira.
Vieira.
Yeah.
Patrick Vieira coaches to the team that just drawn against Napoli. I can't remember who. He just played Napoli and drew against them. He made them drop 2 points.
Wait. Should we
Bologna?
say that?
No.
Should we say that all these ballers, right, should just go to Italy? Because let's look at Lookman. Lookman was just being tossed around, right? And now look at it. He went to Serie A. People call him one of the best wingers. Let's
Yeah,
look
Yeah,
at
but
McTominay.
that's
McTominay.
the problem.
Nobody cared
The
about
coach-
McTominay. Now he's the
the co-
favorite player of the season.
the coaching is different. Like Gasperini has made every forward work in his career, and they go to other clubs and they just fail. Gasperini
Yeah,
is that guy.
He has like the Frankfurt effect, where players go to Frankfurt, they explode, and then they go somewhere
Yeah.
else and they fall off.
Simeone does it as well, right? With his strikers, a lot of them have done well at Atletico Madrid, and then they don't
Yeah,
always
and then they go
Griezmann.
elsewhere, and then they're not good.
Well, it's called
Aguero was
Griezmann.
good. Aguero was
Griezmann.
good. Aguero was good.
Yeah, I think Griezmann to
Rafa.
Barcelona that didn't work in the way that he wanted, but Griezmann's been good at France. I just think
But
he just
Griezmann,
fits it.
Griezmann didn't work because of Messi,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he plays the same rule.
it was just a terrible Barca team. When he
Yeah, it
went
reminded
into
me
it.
of when
Recruitment,
Fabregas moved to
recruitment.
Barcelona. He
Barcelona
he was
got
one
saved by
player
Messi.
extra in the team.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Barcelona got saved by La Masia. And you know, the thing is, they really didn't get saved. It was more they had to do that. And they realized that they should have kept doing it for all those years anyways. Because they have such a good academy.
I'm gonna
Look,
tell you
it's
guys
great, isn't
something.
it?
I'm gonna
Did
tell you
you-
guys something about Barcelona that might sound irrational, but that's how I feel about Barcelona. During my lifetime, right, watching La Liga, before the Ronaldinho era, Barcelona were good, but they weren't great because when Figo left and all this stuff, I didn't watch La Liga in the night. After this, if you remember the last 20 years or 25 years, Barcelona have lived off one player in terms of like that player is bigger than the club. Ronaldinho came, they won the Champions League after years and years and years, and they won La Liga. Now, he left, came Messi, and we know what happened. Messi in that era was unbelievable, was carrying the team, basically. And now they fell off a little bit. Here comes the Lamine Yamal.
Come on,
I am going to tell you something.
don't
In
start.
the next 10 years, I'm going to tell you, in the next 10 years, Lamine Yamal's name
Rationally.
will be big. I'm being serious, by the way. Wallahi, that's serious. In
No,
the
but they won it without
you
him being.
can't tell me, guys.
No.
You can't tell me. You can't tell me. I'm going to ask you a question. Who in the last 15 years, who has a bigger legacy, Barcelona or Lionel Messi?
Messi.
Messi.
Yeah, but that's
Okay, let me
like
ask.
you get
Okay, hold on.
players.
Hold
You're
on.
attracting
Let me play.
players.
Let me play the other one. Who has a bigger legacy when you remember the name over the last 10 years? Real Madrid or Cristiano Ronaldo? When you mention
Yeah, but Ronaldo wasn't
Madrid.
only things.
Real Madrid, did you see
was
my
at
point? Dan?
United.
Did you get my point?
He was at United as well. It
Because,
wasn't-
yeah, because he's been at Juventus, Saudi.
yeah, it's not his team.
Yes.
Like Messi is
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
is
even
Barcelona.
Messi
Barcelona is
left the
Messi.
same summer, Jamie.
Yeah, I
Do you
know, but like it was just like that was just because they couldn't afford
telling-
him.
Jamie,
He got
that's
so
very-
big that they couldn't afford him.
Jamie, that's very rational. You
No,
mentioned
it's not.
the
It's
era.
not.
Okay, let me just explain. I'm going to explain it again so the people understand. You mentioned the last 10, 12 years at Barcelona. The first name that comes to your mind is Lionel Messi. It's a Lionel Messi generation, and he's the one who carried that team. Yes, there was
He's the
Xavi.
greatest
Yes, there
player
was
in
Iniesta.
football.
No, exactly. You mentioned Real Madrid. There are other players that you mentioned. Benzema won them the Champions League, right?
Bale.
Penny won them the Champions League. You remember Modric. You remember Toni. You remember this. But Barcelona, okay, 2006, 2007, 2005 Barcelona. The first name that comes to your mind is one name. Who carried them? Is Ronaldinho.
And then you think of
Pep Guardiola's.
And then you think of Eto'o. You think of
carrying them is a bit of a stretch. Like that
Come
team.
on, he got 91 goals
No,
in the season
no,
a
I
year
know,
once.
but that's just like it's disregarding the rest of the players that were in the team.
No,
Like,
I'm
Xavi,
not
Iniesta,
disregarding them.
Busquets, and then
But their talent was additional. It wasn't even required.
They were a support squad. That's what
they
were.
still
The
would have
whole
won a
point.
huge amount of trophies without Messi.
No, I agree. They were good. But I hear what Mo's saying. And I almost think now as well, there's more of a hype around Yamal than there is
Than
around
Barcelona.
Barcelona right now.
Thank you. You get my
Because he's
point.
doing it at
Yeah.
such a young age.
But
People are
that's-
switching Barcelona on to see him.
Yeah, but like it was the same when it was like El Clasico when that started to kind of come up when Ronaldo against Messi. People are
Yeah.
watching La Liga because they're watching Ronaldo against Messi, and then Barcelona and Real Madrid were like accumulation of that. Like when you think of like Real Madrid in that era, you think of like BBC and MSN, like when they were going toe to toe with one another. You remember players more than you remember clubs in the sense of when you remember the highlights of what that team or player or club was like back, I don't know, 10 years ago. Like I remember when I was growing up, Liverpool, it was Gerrard. Do you know what I mean? Like you were at Chelsea, it'd be Drogba. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's like you remember,
Drogba,
yeah.
John Terry.
you remember
like,
the big players in the big moments, and Messi was just like the biggest player in the biggest moments for the best team ever. Like that's
Nobody remembers anything for Barcelona but Messi during that time. No one.
I
Just
remember
Messi.
them beating us in the Champions League. Those pieces.
Anyway, bro, Barcelona played Arsenal. Messi scored the 4 goals and they won 4. Like, just this is how bad it was at that time.
This is why I never liked
job.
Messi. This is why I never liked Messi, because personally, he's done a lot of damage to my team. And Barcelona, I would say Barcelona, Yamal didn't win the first league title with them. Like he wasn't a
No,
big role.
he played a bit with Xavi. That's
He
he
won it
did in his
yesterday.
debut.
No, but my point is-
Yesterday, bro.
My point is, they're talking about him having 2 league titles under his belt already. He really didn't do much in
Did he
that
not
first
play
league
one
title.
game in the league?
Yeah, but they're giving it to him on his resume as like he's won
Right.
2 league titles, and it's like you
They
kinda
say that
give-
with Messi as well when he won the Champions
And
League.
I
he played
seen-
one
I seen a
game
post
the year they
today.
won in 2006.
I seen a
If you see
shameless
that
post.
he's got the same stats as Murphy. What is his name? The guy.
I seen a
Murphy.
shameless post today, guys, where they said he has the same level, the same number of league
Okay.
titles in La Liga as Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo has 2. He has 2.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But can I tell you guys something? I actually think Lamine Yamal at the current moment is the best player in the world, and there's not even an argument about it. Like, he's the best player in the world.
I think he's
Man-
the best player in the world based on potential.
Yeah,
No,
I think
no,
if,
no,
you're,
no.
if you're
See, I
he's
disagree.
not the best player in
Now
the world.
he
Not
is the best player in the world.
He's
He
not
is
the
the
best
best
player in the
player.
world. He's not.
Who is
How
Jamie?
is he
Who's
not?
Jamie? Who's
Who's better than him?
Who is it, Jamie?
Do you know what? I have a video coming out now today, and I was weighing up the Ballon d'Or options,
Salah.
right? And
Salah.
I'm not. Listen, I could say Salah as a Liverpool fan, but I'm trying to be. It's a rational league. I'm going to be rational about it. I'm trying to weigh it up, right? Dembele, people are going to push as Dembele, right? And I gave Dembele his credit a few weeks ago to say how good he was when we were talking about the Arsenal PSG game. But Dembele, for me, right, he hasn't, even if PSG win the Champions League, he doesn't deserve it. Reason being is he's playing in the French league, which I think immediately it's an easier league to score goals. He hasn't scored a league goal since March 16th, so 2 months. He's been rested in every game leading up to the Champions League knockout games. So, like, he's been rotated. PSG have, I think, 9 of the 11 in their in the La Liga or the Liga 1 Team of the Year. Like, it's an easy league. So I think immediately he shouldn't be in the same category because, say, Rafinha, Yamal, Salah, who are going to be the main 4, are doing it in tougher leagues. Then with Yamal, I think he has been good. He's been unbelievable in, like, say, the last few like knockout games, especially over Inter Milan. He's had to do really well and win them. The El Clasico, he's really good, and then he won the game yesterday against Espanyol to win the league. So I think in that case, he does have a claim. I just think Rafinha and Salah have been more consistently better over the entire season. I think Yamal only has, I think, 7 or 8 goals. I can't remember the exact number in the league.
Eight
Which-
goals.
8, I think.
Yeah, 8 goals. So, like, I think he has the quality, but he's just not at the same consistency as the other two. So then you come down to Salah and Rafinha. I think Rafinha would have won it if they had won the Ballon or they won the Champions League, but he didn't. So now I think it's a bit more of a toss-up. And I think what'll happen is it'll come to recency bias next year when they start to do the votes. Who has a better start to the season next season? And that's what it'll kind of lean towards. Because I think overall, stats-wise, impact, big games, Salah has been there at the start of the season. And he's tailed off a little bit. But I think the reason he's tailed off a little bit is because this whole Liverpool team have had the league wrapped up for so long, where he's been able to take the foot off the gas. And even like Arnie Slot and all, they're all in Ibiza and Dubai partying, and they've like 2 league games to go. Do you know what I mean? They're meant to be a title clash against Arsenal, and they're in Ibiza. So I don't know. I think Salah, because I think doing it in the Premier League is harder than doing it in La Liga. And I think we've seen that with, like, say, how the 4th team in La Liga this year was dismantled by Man United. Like, there was supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. I think it's much harder to do it in the Premier League, even though people will say the Premier League quality is dropped a little bit, but I don't think that's the case.
Modric won Ballon d'Or without winning, without getting a lot of GA. Ronaldinho won Ballon d'Or without getting a lot of GA.
I
There are a lot
know.
of players in that history that win. By the way, Messi and Ronaldo, because they were aliens and they used to score like 50 goals a season, and they used to be the best players. This is when we now think that the best player has to score 50,000 goals. That is not sometimes the best player is just someone who does things different than scoring 50,000 goals.
Rodri last year.
He doesn't. You don't have to get like.
I
50
think
GA a season.
Yamal has captivated every single football fan, I think, which even the others like Dembele who have scored a lot of goals, I just don't think they've had the same effect. I think Yamal, when he gets the ball in any area of the pitch, is exciting people. And I think a player that can do that puts themselves incredibly with a good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I think he is. But listen, people, guys, 400 people in the house. Can we get the likes up a little bit, guys? Hit that like button, at least 200. We go back. Are we going to go back to Premier League? Or
Don't you guys feel like a lot of the stuff about Yamal, because he's so young, he gets pushed a little bit higher?
No, because what he's doing doesn't matter how old you are. Like, he's doing exceptional things. That goal last night was incredible.
Amazing. But I'm saying because he's so
he
young.
does this regularly, by the way. He does this
He
regularly.
does.
Because
Someone just said in the chat there about Yamal in the Euros tournament. That doesn't, that like, that.
No,
that
but
won't
what I'm
count
saying
for
is
next year's
because
Ballon
he's so young, people are ready to crown him earlier because he's doing things that are unprecedented at such a young age.
I honestly think it should be between him, Pedri, and Dembele. I genuinely think that.
Him, Pedri, and Dembele.
You had to throw in Pedri, didn't you?
And I know you're going to hate. Well, Salah's in with a chance, to be fair. Salah, I actually forgot about Salah.
I personally don't think he'll win
good
it.
Season. He's probably not getting.
I
enough
personally don't think
credit
he'll win it.
for
I think Rafinha will win it. And yeah,
I just feel like so many of Rafinha's goals have come from the fact that Yamal has been the marked man, and it's Lewandowski up. And I just feel like Yamal has caused these other teams to like double. Look at Inter Milan's second leg; they were like, we have to triple up on Yamal because he caused us that much damage first time round.
I think Salah has broken so many records in the Premier League this year, and I think a lot of the records that he has taken have been very big, outstanding records.
To be fair, it would actually be harsh if he didn't.
Can we also be honest?
Yeah, but let's not forget Haaland did break records and then won a treble.
But he should. I think Messi that year.
I think Dan hit the nail on the head.
World Cup.
The way that he makes you feel when you watch him play, and the excitement that he brings to the game is a major factor in why he's more likable and he's more people are willing to say yes to him, because not only does he have the GA with the assists and the numbers that he's putting up, the impact, but he also matches the eye test. So he kind of appeases both set of sides.
And he did it in big games as well. Like, everyone will think about that performance that he had in the first leg. Like he shone, didn't he?
That first game versus Real Madrid this season was ridiculous.
He's also, I don't know, does the Euros come into it? Like, he had a fantastic Euros. I don't know if
I don't know, because I remember there was all the fuss about when Messi won it and he won the World Cup in December 2024.
Oh yeah.
Was it? No, 2023, and then he won the 2024 Ballon d'Or. But people are like, well, that shouldn't have counted. So I don't know. I don't think the Euros last year should count for next year's Ballon d'Or.
Look at all the players we have in the Premier League, and it's like La Liga always somehow have the best players in the world.
Yeah, well, I think that's actually a good point.
Last season, Rodri.
Yeah, I know, but even then, it's like that was like heavily debated.
Nah, people just hating, but pick up.
Do you know who has a fantastic chance of winning it? And this is why I say Dembele, because I can't imagine that if a French team win the Champions League, that a French player who scored that many goals won't be awarded the Ballon d'Or by a French organization who run it. I just feel like
they didn't give it to
happen.
Henry. They didn't give it to Henry. They gave it to Nedved instead. So
did they
will reject a French player. It's just the fact that PSG could win their first Champions League.
Champions League ever, yeah.
But Inter, if Inter win the Champions League, who gets it from Inter? Nobody really.
Nobody. No. Because we didn't win the league, bro. We didn't win our league.
No, but you guys could still win your league technically.
That's what I said. Terrible teams can win the Champions League. Like that's what we talked about earlier.
Okay.
So I told you, the league is done.
And teams can be carried by one player to win the league in a shit season in the Premier League. That's fantastic. We can do this all day. Jamie, I can do this all day.
Let's be honest. Mo Salah carried Liverpool's attack. No bad.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? I don't. People can say that as if it's a bad thing.
I just want for the record. I want for the record to remember.
Oh no.
I want this for the record on the National League. Jamie is the one who started this, not me.
I'm feeling a bit giddy today, you know?
Yes, I just want people to remember this. So people don't tell me this is a little bit of banter. It is fun.
I'm not saying Nedved was not good. I'm just saying I was giving him an example of a
Nedved was great, but he wasn't Ballon d'Or award yet.
Do you know what the key thing is that with you saying about Liverpool, Gal, right? With them having their attack carried by Salah. I thought about that the other day and I went and had a look, and actually Diaz and Gakpo, Diaz is double figures for the season, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
So is Gakpo by quite a bit. They've even had Szoboszlai and McAllister get 5 each. They've got like Van Dijk with 3, Trent with 3. Like they've chipped in with goals from all around their team. Like they definitely have. He's done exceptionally well, Salah, but to say he's carried them, I think it's actually harsh.
Do you know the difference, Dan? I'm going to tell you the difference.
He's a standout.
Hold on. I want to add something. What you have to look at, Dan, as well, is that yes, these guys have contributed, Diaz and Gakpo and Jota, but how many of these goals actually Salah is the one who made them happen?
All right. So this is what I was going to say. Just goals and assists alone. Mo Salah this season, how many does he have? He has 28 goals. He has 18 assists, right? That's what.
That is crazy.
That's 56.
That's not even counting all the other competitions.
That's if I'm not mistaken, that's 56.
46.
I didn't realize he turned up in those.
No, that's
Shut your
56.
mouth.
That's 56.
No.
18 and 28. No, he has 18 and 28.
Yeah.
So that's 56, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he needs to go in the league. Again. That's 46.
More. You need to go to score.
Yeah, 46. The record is 47 goal contributions, but it was in a 22 game season, I think.
Guys, he created 90. He created 90 chances in the league. 90 chances in the league.
All right, my apologies.
Good thing we talk about football. We're not mathematicians.
Is that possible, or do you think Liverpool?
Somehow I have an economics degree, guys. Anyways,
somebody said the Egal field, man.
Yeah, somehow I have an economics degree. I don't know how I failed that. Anyways, out of the 46 goal contributions, Liverpool have scored 83 goals this season. So it's safe to say he's carried them. Just looking at that, and also excluding the fact that he set up a goal versus Arsenal without getting an assist. It was a pre-assist, setting up multiple goals this season that he didn't end up getting an assist for because he set up the pre-assist. I think it's easily you could say that Mo Salah carried Liverpool's attack, and it's not an insult. It's just he's been outstanding.
It's a great thing.
Like people, I think when you say carry, I think it has negative connotations toward it. Because like when I think of the best teams and the best players, they usually do have the biggest impact in terms of goal contributions or getting their team over the line to win big trophies. So like if you look at like say Henry when he did 20 and 20, I would say if you went back to that Arsenal team, they probably had around 80 goals and he's had to contribute for 50%, similar to what Salah has done. If you look at, say, Ronaldo when he won the Ballon d'Or, you know,
Lampard did it for Chelsea as well. Didn't he have like a 2020 season?
I'd say they're in and around 40-50%. I'd say 30 to 50% of the goals contributed to that team over that season because they're the best players, they have the best quality, and they'll have the biggest impact. It's
Jamie, everybody has done it though, isn't it? Like Haaland,
exactly.
Every goal, like Haaland.
I'll give you someone that carried the team, right?
And the second one was down here.
I'll give you someone. Cole Palmer last season because the quality wasn't there from everyone else.
Oh my God,
right?
yes.
So without Cole Palmer, there were times when we were so bad under Pochettino, I genuinely worry where we would have been. And in the running as well, to push us up into like European places, he was absolutely unbelievable. I think about
can
the
I
Everton
ask you,
game
what
when he
about
scored
Saka?
hat-trick.
What
Huh?
about Saka in the past?
No.
Saka also
No,
carries
because
the
I
team.
think the team that they've done it in has been better, so that their carry is like they've got quality around them.
Saka to start the season was definitely carrying us, but then what happened was it got to a point where after he got injured, we missed him so much that we could not even do half of what we would normally do.
Wait, Chris Wood Forest is a shout, by the way. Actually, they've fallen off since he stopped scoring this
Man,
season.
Wally.
You know who's the biggest carry job this season after Mo Salah? Cunha.
Yeah, Cunha is carrying. Cunha carries that team in
because Strand Larson scored like 13, 14 goals.
No, but Cunha literally was
He's
the
actually
guy
had a really good first season.
Game after game.
Kind of come really under the radar.
Right, but think about all the teams that you're saying, right?
He has 15 goals, 6 assists in 31 games. And
I think Chris Wood has been a bigger carry job than
Bruno's first season at United. Look at Bruno.
But like
because the form has fallen off so much since his goals dried up, Forest have really struggled.
Yeah,
since
Bruno United, people are saying in the chat as well.
Yeah,
like.
Bruno.
Yeah, United. That his first season though, isn't it? We're talking about his first season. That was a carry job. That was a big carry job.
Bro, Matheus Cunha has 15 goals. Wolves this season have 51 goals.
Like, yeah, but Strand Larson's only got 2 less than him, Egal. So Strand Larson has scored goals.
Strand Larson's also been on penalties.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's still a goal, isn't it? It's a goal. I'm not one for the penalty talk, to be honest with you. You've still got to put it in the back of the net. I've seen plenty of players penalties, and it goes on his stats. He scored goals, and they could win him a game or lose
ask
him a game.
Man City about penalties. They had season where players kept missing penalties and penalties and penalties.
They got knocked out last year. Penalties, right?
Someone just said there as well. I think this is a good debate. Did these people watch Zidane? They only talk about GA.
I watch it.
I watch Zidane. Zidane is one of my favorite players.
I think, yeah, this is it's the age-old debate of like players before compared to now, and
you kind of.
I think we have moved. I seen as well. I had a video today about it. Rafinha has now overtaken Neymar's best ever goal tally at Barcelona. But like, if you were to compare the two, do you know what I mean? It's like chalk and cheese. And I think we do get very carried away in this day and age about GA because it's a lot more about system players and players that are fit into being in the right place at the right time. Like Salah is a really good example where he's admitted this season where Slot has just said, stay up top. When the big moments come, we need you there. And that's what he's been able to do. And that's why we won a league. But I think back then it was a lot more about individual quality and individual flair. And that's why players like Zidane, and I think Neymar, Ronaldo and Messi kind of changed this in terms of they just scored insane goals, and then systems started to try and play to nullify them. But like players like Zidane, even R9, never scored like the number of goals.
Yeah, but he looked good.
He looked good, yeah. And I think that's why I think some people nowadays they look at football and say it's so robotic. But I think that's why when we're talking about Yamal, it's just. He doesn't play. It's like he's not playing in the system. And like Inter Milan, we're trying to mark, like had 3 players trying to mark him, and he's just like, I don't care. Just give me the ball. I'm going to do something. And that's why I think so many people do love him watching him.
You know,
if you do watch my watch along, every time he got on the ball, I look terrified. Every single time. Even a simple pass at halfway line. And Wallah al-Azim, I'm being serious. I was doing the watch along for like 3 hours or something. And well, he got the ball at halfway line. We still had Bastoni at the back, DeMarco, Mkhitaryan, and I was just terrified.
I saw you. You're like, mark him.
I'm a manager. I would literally just mark him out of the game.
Did you see more trying to tell a 36-year-old Mkhitaryan to mark him?
Do you know who hasn't been spoken about enough in terms of the Champions League final and the reason that both the teams are there, I think, is both the goalkeepers. I don't think Jan Sommer and Donnarumma have had nearly enough conversation. Donnarumma was obviously exceptional.
And I tell you honestly, I think Jan Sommer has been the best goalkeeper in the world this season.
He's been exceptional. I completely agree. He's been so good.
I know that people want to talk about the big names.
I know that people want to talk about
Donnarumma. People want to talk about Courtois. People want to talk about, but to be 36 years old, and the difference between him and Donnarumma, which is we saw it, is that he has the ability to start an attack, the passing range, the vision. He passes the ball between the lines, between the press. Donnarumma doesn't do this. Alisson does this. Ederson does this. Courtois doesn't do this because Courtois with his feet is not as good. Jan Sommer has the best of the two worlds. He can play with his feet And he's magnificent in terms of shot stopping. The problem is he's 36. Like, we have to find a new keeper.
Yeah, but no, goalkeeper definitely in Italy as well. Like 36 is
I knew you were going to say. I knew you were going to throw that. I know you're going to
5-year deal though. Like how many? Do you know what?
That's 20 in the Premier League.
I'll tell you why. Right? I'll tell you
What
why.
enough,
It's a 5-year deal.
No.
Because Pepe Reina is still playing in goal for mid-table Como at 42 years old in Serie A.
Buffon went to 40s, isn't it?
Do you know what? I was looking at this and I still haven't been able to find it out, and I didn't really want to do the maths because I was a bit tired last night. How old was he when he was at Liverpool? Because like that was 2006, Jamie, maybe?
Yeah, we signed him in 2006. He left in 2009.
He was pretty much like, was he 22, 23? When he was at Liverpool?
No, I think he was like 26.
Well, that's what I was trying to work out. But he's 42 now, so it was 20 years ago.
Dan, did you see how they play at
Was he
Como
20 that
also?
young?
Yeah, have you seen Fabregas talking about it? It's actually really interesting. Really interesting. You remember last week I said if Bayer Leverkusen lose Xabi Alonso, they will go for someone that fits a very similar system, and they're already being linked with Fabregas. I thought Xavi potentially, but Fabregas is obviously being spoken about now.
Yeah, Fabregas.
Yeah.
Mo is in your defender, 37 years old.
Chelsea manager if he does well.
What?
Mo is in one of your defenders, 37 years old.
Yeah, Cherby.
Yeah, Cherby. Yeah.
You can in Italy. The game allows you to play at an older age for sure, and I think
we can all play in Italy, Dan.
Yeah, but I also think the country and the culture allow you to play on as well. I think they have a slower style. They manage people with age better in terms of football. Look at the players that have played longer there, and like the medical side of it in Italy as well. They've definitely got that unlock in terms of recovery and treatment and everything.
Chiellini was on I remember he was on an overlap when they went out and they did a podcast and they were talking about like the lifestyle and stuff, and he was like, we just manage ourselves really well when it comes to like matches and training as well. They, like I think in Ireland, in England, the diet would be very different to like how they would eat.
Like drinking.
And they're having like
chips, exactly.
You know what's crazy? If Liverpool, you know how Liverpool are looking at getting Frimpong. If he doesn't work out at Liverpool, you could always flog him to Inter or somebody in Italy, and he'd kill it.
He would. I would. Frimpong got right wing back. Oh my word!
What about KDB? What about KDB? Because
that's Denzel Dumfries. That's younger Denzel Dumfries.
Imagine KDB in Italy. He will make it look so easy.
I would absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see how he adapts in the Premier League.
KDB to Inter, writings on the wall. That's like the
Napoli.
No, he's going to Napoli.
Napoli. You watch that. They'll win the league with ease if him and Lukaku are in that team.
Napoli didn't win the league for 30 years. Now they're about to do it again.
They'll have three, won't they? He'll do the back-to-back if they get
KDB will be walking in that league. He'll be walking in that league, just walking, not even running.
He's gonna win Player of the Year.
Everyone's breaking.
It's actually the opposite, which is very strange. We are the team that ran the most in the Champions League.
It's because you don't have
Can you imagine that?
The amount of times you had to chase your Mal back. DeMarco was thinking,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Barella, I think he's like top 5 in the most people that ran in top 5 leagues.
Yeah, but he's just an engine in his own. Like,
I don't know why people in the chat are making fun of Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay is a good player.
Isn't he the player of the season? He's the player of the season this year.
Man United under.
He's not going to win player of the season.
McTominay?
Definitely not. He's not going to. He's definitely not. If they give McTominay player of the season, they're going to make their league worse. If they give McTominay player of the season. Yes. It doesn't matter if he scores. By the way, people don't watch. I watch some of the Napoli games. The way Antonio Conte uses McTominay is very similar to when McTominay had his best season at Man United. They aren't asking him to do any wonders. Just crash the 18, get at the end of things, make the late runs, and you will score a lot of goals. And he does.
Yeah, but sometimes football can be that simple. You know what I mean?
Simple, exactly.
Read the game.
You don't have to do the step overs, receive on half turn. Just fucking make a late run. You're scoring
in the moment.
I'm gonna cross the ball. Will you just get on? You're big and tall. Just run onto it.
That's it.
But that's genius, isn't it? That is genius. Like telling somebody just simple things. That's why I think somebody says Scott McTominay and KDB is a thing of dreams.
Yeah,
Billy Gilmore as well.
What a
to be honest with you, I always liked Billy Gilmore, and I thought that he just needed a coach that knows how to use the guy, because he is a very good player on the ball.
Yeah.
Like, because he was coached under De Zerbi as well. Once you're coached under De Zerbi, you know where to stand on the pitch, you know where to receive the ball, when is the next pass. And players that were coached under De Zerbi, they say that. He's teaching us every single move. And he's always a good player. Physically, he can do it. By the way, he doesn't start. Lobotka is the starter for Napoli. Lobotka is a genius.
Oh, Lobotka, yeah.
Is a
He
genius.
deserves
Lobotka.
I actually think he would be great for Real Madrid if they lost Modric. I think he would be perfect in that role. I think he'd be really good.
Yeah.
He's probably not going nowhere. He's like their most important, one of their most important.
Bro, if you watch Lobotka, the guy is just Jorginho times 5. So basically, Jorginho is a shit Lobotka.
Someone compared him to Dembele from Spurs. Is that a good comparison?
No. He's more calm on that. He doesn't do. No. Dembele used to.
Dembele was a baller.
Dembele was the guy that carried the ball for Spurs. You remember Dembele used to dribble and carry the ball and physical. Lobotka's not that guy. Lobotka's like,
probably
get it,
plays
pass it.
closer to Basuma in terms of like the role and the play style than Dembele.
Yes, he gets it, passes to the next guy, half turn, receives it from the defenders, knows where to pass. He's fantastic. Yeah, he's like Pirlo without the passing range.
Yeah.
You just removed all of the good things.
No. But Pirlo is the best player in the history of the sport to have a passing range from the deep line playmaker in the midfield. No one better than him.
If you lose,
not even like Pirlo.
If
they are close,
Ryan Gravenberch.
Mo, if you lose the Champions League final,
come down.
No, if you lose the Champions League final after being in the title race, after losing the cup to AC Milan, and now you lose the Champions League, and you're out of all, you were going for a treble and you don't get nothing. Would you guys give Inzaghi another year?
They're gonna renew his contract to 2027, regardless of what happens. But I think he failed. We have by far the best squad in Italy, and by far, like no one comes even close to us. Our second team can win against 15 out of the 19 teams we play. The second team, we can sub 11 out, 11 in, right? And we still can win against 10.
You beat us.
Didn't Milan beat you in the cup final?
You beat us.
They beat us in the Super Cup and they beat us in the cup final. Sorry, they beat us in the quarter final, the semi-final of the cup.
So they knocked you out with 2 tournaments.
And then Bologna beat Milan.
Were you playing your second team?
No, which is very strange.
What are you trying to prove?
Someone said something there, but now it's not to lose my train of thought. Fuck, it'll come back to me.
I'm just asking. I'm not comparing it to Arteta, guys.
I think he failed 100%.
Come here. I don't know. Did you notice Inzaghi is not the Inzaghi that played for AC Milan? It's his brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had no idea.
You had no idea that they were two brothers?
No way. Similar, but not that similar.
So alike. But I was like,
really?
His brother's also managing.
I've seen
his brother is managing.
Isn't he Simone Inzaghi, the Inter manager? And then Pippo is the player that played for AC Milan that was always offside.
He scored against Liverpool. He scored 2 against Liverpool. I thought that was the same guy. He scored 2 goals against Liverpool.
He's just got his team promoted, like Egal was saying. He's just got his team promoted into Serie A.
Yeah. No.
Did I hear Rangers got Carlo Ancelotti's son or something like that?
No. He actually decided not to go.
Gerrard's
decided
to stay as well, no? Like with a return.
He decided to stay one more year with his dad at Brazil to see what happens. Like he's going to go into the World Cup with his dad next year.
What do you make of international managers, by the way? Like they're now not living in the country that they're getting the job. Like Carlo's going to commute to South America. Tuchel's commuting obviously to England. I just find that kind of mad. I feel like you got to go and
Pochettino in America. This has always been happening. It's just not been happening for major countries. This always happened. Think about it. Look at all the biggest African countries. They had European managers. Look at some of the managers for North American countries. They've always had European.
But they always lived in the country. Every time the national team coach here in Egypt used to live here and go on vacation to his home country, not the other way around.
No,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I feel like what's happened is the best managers in the world used to always manage for their country. But now some of the best managers in the world open up their opportunities to any country. And that's just the difference.
Yeah.
Like they'll all, like maybe back then, like say, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, it would have been not more difficult, but there would have been less access to, like, say, traveling. But now they'll all have private jets. They'll fly wherever they want.
they
You know what I
do,
mean?
yeah.
Like, be getting
You can
transferred
get
by
there,
the
yeah.
by the teams.
Unless,
You know what I mean?
unless you're Christian Romero with Argentina, you guys seen what happened with that. They were complaining that he was getting round trips from Argentina, and it was affecting his injuries and everything. It was crazy. Did you hear that report? They're saying he's traveling during international duty was way more than anybody else, and it caused his injury to get worse because he was in the air for too long.
Why was his worse than like Enzo
Yeah.
Fernandez, for example?
Because he flew from the north. I think they had a game up north, and he flew directly from up north all the way to like Brazil, and then he had a transit flight from Brazil, and then they had another game in South America, another part of South America, 2 games away from Argentina, then came back to Argentina to play, and then went to Brazil, and it was like 3 games, 2 of them away from Argentina, one in Argentina, and then all the way back to England. And by the time he did all of that, none of it was private planes. He was like flying.
Why did McAllister and Enzo not have to do the same?
Because they got a private plane home.
Oh, I see. So he just was on a regular
I thought they all
card.
flew together. I thought, like,
No.
I've seen some of the Brazil lads.
Spurs didn't get him a private plane. Spurs just put him on a regular plane.
Oh.
You're in economy there. Off you go.
I would think Jim Ratcliffe's doing the same, by the way, at Man United with some of his. I can
Oh,
imagine.
Did you see?
You hear about Man United?
Amarim had to pay for the staff
Yeah.
there for flights on their tickets.
No, did
I
you not
actually
hear
think that puts a lot of credit in the bank for Amarim.
Glazers?
No, for Amarim. If I was
No,
a
for
United
Amarim,
fan,
yeah.
I'd probably think, do you know what, this guy actually cares, and I would probably rather him stay. Actually, I think a manager doing that is a great act to get in the good books of fans, even when the results
Because
aren't
the
great.
staff, I think, because usually the staff get like access to tickets first, but then United said, and you can look at it either way. United said that they were doing it to give access to match-going fans more tickets to go to the game, which makes sense. But then, like, the players, they weren't getting access to any things, and Amarim was like, "I'll just pay for your flights and accommodation to go over."
That is sad, isn't it? They took away the sandwiches from them. They took away the
Oh, I see someone saying there flights to about like £30. Nah, from London they're
I'm not
looking
gonna lie
like
to you guys. I heard
mad
today,
money.
an hour ago, I heard Jim Radcliffe has dropped Manchester United's value by 6.5 billion.
No, that's his
No.
own. That's his own
That's
net worth.
that's
His
the
net
company.
value.
That's the
No.
net value.
It's
Ineos.
self-worth.
Oh, the Ineos guys, he dropped their value.
No, his self worth has dropped from like 23 or 4 billion to 17 billion, and he's dropped down the rich list in the UK.
Oh God, how will he survive?
Yeah, someone should start a GoFundMe.
It's like, oh God, how will we survive?
Oh, so it's his
Get
net worth.
a donation in here. We'll get
Who
GoFundMe
gives a
going.
shit about his net worth? Why is this even a story? I thought Manchester United dropped their value.
It's a headliner, isn't it? It's just like money. People like drive clicks to it. Like,
Yeah. Who
oh,
cares
he's
about
lost
his net
6 billion.
value?
It was
The
the
guy-
same thing
Yeah, and
when they
But
lost
the-
United lost their share price a few years back when I think it was when the Glazers might have taken over. They lost like, I don't know, it was like 1 billion in market cap or something.
I was shocked when Faz told me Manchester United have gotten so cheap that they stopped giving people drinks in the academy games. Like giving people drinks, like public would have coffee or water or something if they just wanted to drink in the hospitality area, and they don't even do that. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, the stadium is coming, so they have to save somewhere. Talking about United, are you going to talk about Chelsea that must beat United, which I think is going to be simple?
what happened to his mic? What happened to your mic?
Oh, what happened to my mic?
Okay, now we can hear you well.
Oh, wait, can you hear me?
What did you say?
No, I was talking about United. I'm like, are they just going to? I didn't want to use the word bend over, but I was like, are they just going to make it easy for Chelse now because most of these teams don't care.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
If West Ham could beat them, we're bleeding like an open book.
Well, they definitely cannot risk like getting injured. Now,
Yeah, Dan is not. This is the one game Dan is not worried about.
No, we win it. We win this.
If you could play anybody right now, you'd probably want to play Man United at home.
Pissed off, and there's 2 games left. There's only 2 games.
Why do you care? You're gonna get top 4. Just win.
I've seen a lot of Chelsea.
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it.
No, you will.
You're scared.
Yes, I am.
No,
you'll get it, Patrick.
You're fake scared.
You didn't do that voice, that you get it.
guys,
scared.
are you sitting here guaranteeing that Man City will beat both Fulham and Bournemouth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, really?
I think so.
Maybe one win, one draw.
Even if they don't, They currently have a gap on who's behind them. Am I wrong?
No, they
What
don't.
should we do to make
No,
it?
they
What should
don't.
we do? We don't
No,
have.
not
Let me see.
really.
What's the
One
gap?
No, they
pointer.
don't.
I'm
If
looking at the
we
table.
win tonight and Villa win, are Villa playing Spurs tonight as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man
Yeah,
City
if we
got
both
two
win, we
points.
both go
Oh
ahead
my
of
God.
City.
Oh
You know
my
that, Egal, right? Like they both go ahead
Villa.
of City.
Now we're
and
really
if
looking at
City-
Villa.
No,
How is this
Villa have crept up, haven't they? Because
Yeah.
they dropped.
Yeah,
They
how
were
is it-
10th not that long ago.
How's
Yeah.
it possible? You're playing United and Spurs. How can destiny be like? How can fate just do this? This
No,
is
but
so
guys,
easy.
the last game of the season is versus Fulham. They got Bournemouth at home, their last home game of the season. I really don't think Man City is going to lose their last home game of the season. And if they do drop points versus Fulham, maybe then they could probably get out. But Bournemouth at home should be a winner for them. Should be easy for them.
We would say
Not
that,
easy. Nothing.
but
Nothing is easy for
Because
City.
Bournemouth,
Nothing is
right?
easy.
They're fighting for Europe and
Conference
European
League.
places.
Yes.
No, but it's maybe I'm a sentimental person, but
yes,
I
you
think
are.
there's-
You are.
I
You're
thi-
being
I
too
think,
soft.
I think playing your last home game of the season means something to the players and the fans, and they usually turn up. And it is a difficult place to go win, especially if you need a win. So Bournemouth might want to go into that game and get a win, and they could find themselves in a situation where they're 3-0 down after 20 minutes.
Who's at home?
City.
Man City.
No,
City,
City are
City.
home, man.
Oh, they're
Nah,
probably-
they'll beat them easy.
Yeah,
Bournemouth, they'll
easy.
be
The fact that people are saying easy.
Hoyson's already on a bleeding flight to Madrid. for
same way
fuck's sake.
today is Chelsea's last home game of the season.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
yeah.
just do you think? Man
I
City-
think Chelsea win today comfortably. I think Man United players are not focused on this game. I don't think the Man United players are thinking about this game. I don't think the Spurs players are thinking about the Aston Villa game at all. Everyone is looking on about Wednesday. Nobody only Chelsea today. Chelsea will smash Manchester.
There's one player for Manchester United that actually cares about today. One player. Can anyone guess
Mason
who it
Mount.
might be? Yeah.
Mason Mount.
You just know he's I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans sort of preempting the fact that if anyone does anything tonight against us, it'll be him.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
you think Mason Mount is going to come to the bridge and ruin your Champions League hopes?
It
You
happens.
might.
It
You know
happens.
what?
It
It's
happens in
football, isn't
football.
it? Like
It happens in
football
football.
throws funny stories up
Oh.
like that, doesn't it? So
Do you remember Coutinho?
Yeah.
Coutinho
No,
at
but
City.
you
Remember
heard
before
that
the comeback. Coutinho
he
scored.
might go on loan next season. Mason
Okay,
Mount.
let's have a conversation about your
Chelsea.
forward situation. Who's going to play up front?
Tonight.
Yeah,
I think he should play Tyreek George. I actually think he should play Tyreek George.
at striker.
Yeah. I think he's done well enough in the Conference League that he probably deserves a chance. I don't know if Mark Guy's
What's
fit.
his
And
natural
apparently
position?
just anywhere across the front three, really. Probably a winger, but he's done well in the Conference League up front, and everyone else is injured. So they'll probably play Neto, but I don't know if Sancho can play. So Sancho might not play, and then he might play Madueke.
It's going to be Neto
Tyreek
up
George on the
top. Madueke, Sancho.
You know
I think
when-
that is going to be the line.
You know when Jackson got Jackson
Injured.
got sent off, he played Cole Palmer as like the false nine, and I don't know whether
Yeah, but you
he'll
had
do that.
10 men. Damn, but you had 10 men. He had
Yeah,
to
but
sacrifice the position.
Neto was still on the pitch, but I think he needed Neto for like the defensive work that he might not got from
Yeah.
Palmer.
So
So-
Sancho
I
can
think-
play.
Isn't Kunku
Yeah.
fit? I'm sure.
Hold on,
he's
why
still
Sancho
injured.
cannot play?
Loan. He's on
still
loan.
on loan.
Yeah, I don't think he can play.
He's
I
on loan.
think, I
He
honestly
can't play.
think Tyreek George has absolutely deserved a chance to start. I think he's probably been form-wise and goal threat. He's probably been better than
Isn't Kunku
Neto.
fit?
no,
I'm looking-
apparently not. And I don't think
looking on
Mark Gee is
FootMob.
training with the team.
Dan,
How
I'm
am I
looking
being
at-
pessimistic? I've said we definitely win, and Tyreek George should start. I honestly think if you want to,
Bro, cheer up.
to speak to Chelsea fans, they're all going to say something similar to that. I'm not being pessimistic at all. I'm absolutely certain we win. I'm
about
absolutely
this?
certain.
George on the left, Neto up top, Madueke on the right, Cole
Yeah.
Palmer on the 10.
Probably, but I
that's the
think
team, yeah.
Tyreek
What's this-
George could have a chance of starting.
What's this
He's-
Nkunku stuff as well that we're hearing about Liverpool? I haven't seen
Oh
any of
yeah,
this stuff.
40 mil, Jay, and you can have him.
It's another
Bro,
Oxlade
it's
chamber
actually-
waiting to happen.
No,
It's actually-
he'll be all right.
Is it real? Is it real
It's
talk?
real.
that Liverpool
Santi
are
reported
inquiring
it.
about?
Santi reported it. And
Is
Santi,
it real?
reported Who reported?
Santi.
Santi. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like people are
Very
saying all the Wirtz rumors, and they're saying, "Oh, like it's rumors, whatever." I was like, David Ornstein reported, Bill, they're reporting as well that like Liverpool are in the mix, and he was at Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool are going to get him. I don't think they pay 100 million for a player, and I think Bayer Leverkusen want 150 million. But like they
Liverpool-
are, they are
Can I
there.
ask
By
you
the
guys
way,
something?
the report is Liverpool have made contact with Chelsea, so have Newcastle and Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, he should go. He should go Bayern Munich.
Should go like an easier league, the Italian league.
Oh, I know. He's only gonna go Bayern Munich if. Okay, so this is from my understanding today about the saga of Nkunku Wirtz. Bayern Munich gave an ultimatum to Leroy Sané. It's either within this week, it's either you sign the contract we offered you, or you basically fuck off. You find yourself a different team, right?
Yeah.
So I think if Leroy Sané doesn't sign for them, they're gonna go big for Wirtz. But if Leroy Sané accepts the contract, are they gonna pay 150 million when they have already Musiala there? They have Harry Kane, they have Olise. I don't think so. If Leroy Sané leaves, now they can sign Nkunku, like as a left winger as well. But I think the Wirtz situation at the current moment is waiting for Bayern Munich are waiting for who's gonna sign new contracts. Also, by the way, Serge Gnabry is not confirmed he's gonna stay, so they have a hole to fill. I don't understand how
the Wirtz situation is that he wants to go to Bayern and Bayern want him, but they don't want to pay the 150 million at Bayer Leverkusen, and Bayer Leverkusen don't want to deal with Bayern Munich because they have tension between the two clubs. So that's like the issue. So I'd say Wirtz is just like that's what I said. I don't think Wirtz will come to Liverpool. I don't think he'll go to anyone other than Bayern. But I just think he's basically just checking his options.
I think we've been used, all of us. I think Liverpool and City have been used.
Why are Liverpool in for Wirtz if there are still rumors about Alexander Isak? So Liverpool definitely cannot afford to spend 250 million pounds.
Yeah, but they could go for either one.
Not happening. Unreal.
We're being used more by the camp. They want to force Bayern to pay. By using Liverpool and City.
Liverpool love going big in the transfer market. I don't know what you're talking about.
Newcastle are not selling Isak. They're not selling Bruno G. They're not selling any of their core players. They're going to go into next season.
They sell Tonali. I've got.
They're going to go into next season.
Tonali. One of my favorite players.
I could see a situation. I could see a situation in 2 years from now. We could talk about Newcastle as favorites to win the league because that's the kind of direction they're headed in. Why would they sell? And I think all these players are going to be bought into it. They just won a trophy for the first time in 50 years. Bruno G said he wants to be a legend. Isak is already getting paid reasonable money. And I don't think whatever Liverpool or Arsenal or anybody else comes in, unless they don't get Champions League football, how are you going to prize any of these guys away from them?
Liverpool are still hoping that Newcastle lose to Arsenal.
Listen, players, we've just seen Trent say that he wanted to captain Liverpool, stay at Liverpool his entire career. Players change their minds. If Real Madrid fucking came in for Bruno G, he's like, see you later. I am gone.
Don't forget though, Real Madrid could come in for a player at Newcastle. Newcastle have the richest owners in the world. They don't need to sell anything.
No, they don't need to sell, but it's not. That's not the whole thing with them. It's more a case of if players want to leave. Do you know what I mean? If if Real Madrid or Barcelona come in for someone like a Bruno G who's Brazilian, and we've seen it time and time again.
And he's only played for Lyon and Newcastle.
Yeah, it's like, I love this club, I love these fans, but it's Real Madrid and Barcelona.
I'm sure those fans love me too.
If a local lad from Liverpool can fucking throw a club under the bus for free, then Bruno G will go for 100 million. Like, there's gonna be no question about it.
You also have to be willing to pay the 100 million. Newcastle are going to prize everybody out of a move.
Yeah,
Isak is going to get prized out of a move from Arsenal, from Liverpool, from Barcelona, from Real Madrid, wherever it is. He's going to get prized out. The reality is, if any of us want to get Isak, we have to wait until he runs down his contract, and by then he'll probably be like 29 or 27 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right now,
I think that Isak will stay. I just don't see people spending that money this year on Isak. I think, as you said, I don't think Newcastle have to sell, so they're not in that position. The Champions League money that they're going to get is going to be big for them to go out, and because they haven't been able to buy players the last 3 windows, so now they'll be like, with that money they can reinvest it in the squad, and they can say to those players, listen, we didn't have money before, but now we do. We're probably going to go out and get maybe a centre back or another forward to help with score more goals.
Did you see Kerekes' value? We didn't speak about all the transfers.
40 million, right?
40 million pounds they want for the left back. 40 million pounds.
He's only 21.
He's not bad. Mina, as a neutral, big up Mina for the super chat. As a neutral and one TV, what last game must I see? There's only one game to watch. The last game. The Premier League. It's Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. It's only one game.
It's Liverpool lifting the trophy.
I'm going to Arsenal versus Newcastle. I think that's a big game.
That's tomorrow. That's not the last game.
I mean,
that's Sunday. That's Sunday. That's not the last game. It's another game. He's talking about the last game.
Next weekend. Yeah, last weekend there's only one game.
There's only one game to watch. It's Nottingham Forest, unless both Nottingham Forest and Chelsea lose today, or today and Sunday, and both of them are out of the Champions League already.
Yeah, you know,
The fight for Europa League.
Imagine that.
I think
Imagine
Arsenal.
Chelsea are fighting for a place in Europa League.
I think Chelsea fans are going to be looking at Arsenal saying, "Do me a favor on Sunday," because I think.
Hold on, you don't play next week. Okay, hold on. Okay. When is the last game of Chelsea? I know that Jamie has to jump in. When is the last game of Chelsea?
Enjoy the weekend, guys.
Everyone plays the last game at the same time.
Okay, so next Sunday there is no game.
Saturday, no?
Because there's Conference League final, isn't it? On this Sunday. Hold on, I'm
no,
confused now. When is the game?
Conference League final is the 28th. So I think next weekend, which is like the 22nd, maybe, is the end of the Premier League, I think.
So the Conference League is a Wednesday. The Conference League final is a Wednesday.
May 18th.
28th, I think.
Is the what?
No, that's this week.
28th of May is the
25th.
Conference League final.
25th.
You're sure
How
about
is
that?
that possible?
Yeah.
1 second. How is that possible, Dan? How is the Conference League final 3 days after the final
Before
day of
the
the
Champions League.
Yeah, it is. It that happened last year as well, I think.
Yeah, the Conference League final is
Okay,
played
so
after.
Sunday, the 25th of May, 4:00, everyone plays in the Premier League. Everyone.
Okay. This is next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
guys-
that is what date was that? Sorry, the 25th, did I say? 25th. And then 3 days later, Chelsea have the Conference League final on the Wednesday.
That's stupid from the Premier League. Yeah, just-
Maybe they don't want to change it. But
Someone doesn't play this weekend, though, because it's the FA Cup final, isn't it? Is it FA Cup final this weekend?
yeah. City play Tuesday. City play
City
Tuesday,
plays
Wednesday.
Right, okay, fine.
City
So,
play Bournemouth, not this weekend. City play
Palace
Bournemouth.
Palace play on Tuesday also.
Yes. City and Palace, they play on Tuesday, of course.
okay, here's what would make it the most interesting, right? Is that this is not what I want, obviously, but if Chelsea lose tonight to Manchester United and so do Villa and Forest win their game, Forest will be on 65, and then Chelsea and Villa will be on 63 going into the final game of the season, and that will make it like a really interesting.
What about Arsenal Newcastle?
Can I have a better scenario for you?
Because I
City
think
lose on Tuesday.
I think Arsenal's going to win on versus Newcastle, and it's going to make it even more crazy.
No, because if Arsenal, I feel like Arsenal aren't quite in the battle anyway. They're on 68, so I feel like they probably won't.
We could ruin Newcastle's parade. That's what the thing is.
I don't know if you will. 'cause
No,
they're on
you can.
66.
Yeah,
You
we can. Newcastle.
You know
on
who
66,
I feel
Yeah.
like
Do you know
they're
how many?
alright.
Do you know the goal difference of Newcastle?
23.
Yeah.
But
Do you know
if
that?
But if we beat Newcastle and
Do you know who
Newcastle
Newcastle play the last game? That's what you
Everton.
need to understand.
plays-
You play Everton
Oh,
at
they'll win
home.
that.
They're gonna win that. So Newcastle are definitely getting 69 points. I think Newcastle end the season on 70 points actually, because I think they get a
No,
draw.
but there's a
from Arsenal.
possibility if Chelsea win, Nottingham Forest win, and Man City win, and Arsenal beat Newcastle. Even if they win the final day, they could still be struggling to get in.
Newcastle are not gonna be out because of the goal difference. Newcastle, Chelsea, and Man City have way superior goal difference. Just 23, 24,
I
and
hope we win
19.
tonight. I just hope we win tonight. we will. Chelsea will win tonight, and we'll be fine for the running, and we'll get Champions League football somehow without Nicholas Jackson up front.
It's better without Nicholas Jackson. I think the best scenario would be Chelsea and Aston Villa get draws, Forest win, Man City lose and be on 65 points. Because I think Newcastle is just going to be out of the conversation at that time. And I think that will make it even more fun to watch because City play Fulham away from home, right? And that's going to be
You
fun.
want the ultimate chaos.
Yeah, in the last game of the season. I think that it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you guys are right. Newcastle, Arsenal, we're out of this conversation. As for the that's crazy. That could be crazy.
Nottingham Forest form, by the way, is awful.
Yeah,
it's really bad. I was just looking at it now. They're in their last 6 games,
win
they've
in
only
5.
won 1.
They got 2 draws though, so maybe they're starting to get pickup form a little bit. Because really and truly, look at all you guys. You guys have all like Aston Villa's picked up form, Chelsea's picked up form massively, and Man City's undefeated in like 9 games.
Wouldn't it be quite funny to see Forest, like they got so excited about getting Champions League football? It would actually be quite funny to see them miss out.
It would be actually very funny if they make Conference League, not Europa League. Can they make Conference League?
No, they can't. They can't. They
can. I'm going to tell you how. If Palace win the cup, Palace automatically go to Europa League. Now, 6th position, go to Europa League. So Forest finish 7th, they go Conference League.
I've got one, right? For this is a serious question, and I know I don't want any biasness in here, right? If Chelsea get Champions League football and we win the Conference League, UEFA have said they're going to give Chelsea the choice of which competition they can play in. Being realistic here, looking at where Chelsea are with their squad, what would be the sensible option?
Champions League, no question.
Champions League football.
Yeah.
And I think you make the 2nd round easy.
I think Chelsea get through the league.
Easy.
Definitely.
Easy. You play
I think
you're going to win at least like 4 of them. You're going to make the 2nd round.
Chelsea struggle in the league phase, but they will get to at least the knockout rounds where Man City.
Yes, exactly. And now it's a draw. Now it depends where you finish.
I've seen fans on Twitter suggesting that playing the Europa League would be better for Chelsea.
Absolutely not.
No, but you know what their logic is? Their logic is you're building your way up to the main competition and you're still not ready to compete.
But the financials that the Champions League can give you, like, it's just crazy.
I don't agree with it. But certain people would rather guarantee the trophy at the end of the season or have a better chance to win that trophy than enter the Champions League.
Have you watched Europa League this season? Yes, it's good and entertaining. Bro, it's not an indication of how good of a team you are.
It's not my argument. I'm not banking on this, but there is people like when I was on Dan Potts' channel the other day, Lee and Yardman were telling me they would rather Arsenal be in the Europa League next season and win it than be in the Champions League once again and lose.
And get a semi-final. Do you think you have a... Do you think if you're
I saw that video. I saw that video. I laughed.
I'm sorry.
I find that such a weird mindset. I'd much rather my team
there's people who'd rather bank the trophy than be in a bigger competition and lose.
I find that crazy. Like I said it the other day, everyone said to me, would you rather have Arsenal's season or Chelsea's season? And I still genuinely think I would rather have had Arsenal's than Chelsea win the Conference League. I genuinely think I would rather that. No, because I'd rather be fighting for the Champions League than the club being in a position where, you know, it's won every game without even having to try in the Conference League.
Exactly. This is guys. Yesterday, Nina said that she's so excited about the final because it's the first real game she's gonna watch for Chelsea in that competition.
Yeah, it's true. I completely agree.
So how is that even something that you're entertained? You're going to the games knowing that home and away you're gonna win. Home and away you're gonna win. And she said, I'm so excited. Finally, I'll get to watch my team play a good European team in one game. If I had a whole campaign with league phase and knockouts,
it's sad to say, but some people are just within my fan base are so desperate for just anything that they're willing to downgrade. And those are the people who want the manager sacked, and those are the people who say they hold high standards.
So even if I lose the final with Inter and Man United, win Europa League, do you think I would rather have Man United season as an Inter fan?
Not a chance. You've seen your team lose nearly 20 times in the league. Like, you just wouldn't take that, would you? Like, I just don't understand it.
No, but you know, if you had Inter season and you're a Premier League team, you'd be getting way more stick because you guys are in a Champions League final, but you've literally...
Yeah, that's fine. We still get a lot of banter, by the way. If you watch Inter Twitter, Milan, Juventus, but at the end, I wouldn't trade it with a Conference League win, with all due respect. I just wouldn't do that.
The only reason that Conference League means anything to Chelsea is, one, it's you win what you can if you're in that competition, and two, it just is the tick on the outside of the stadium to say that we've won every trophy possible. Yeah, and that's what it is. We'd be the only club that's done it. But other than that, I'd be in the Champions League every single season over a Conference League victory.
Can I tell you something, Egal?
If you had the choice of winning the Europa League next year, if you have the choice of winning the Europa League next year for Chelsea Football Club and having another European trophy back-to-back years, or knowing that you're not going to make it out the group stages, which one would you rather be?
I'd probably take if I knew we weren't going to make it out the group stages, I then might say I'd rather win the Europa League.
That's the whole point.
I'm cooking here. Let me finish. That is where I think the mindset of some of these fans.
Right, I see.
You're not ready.
I think we make it out the group stages because I think Champions League qualification alone allows us to buy players that get us out of the group stage. That would be my thought process behind it. And I think players, if you're in the Champions League, I feel like you turn up. I've seen players in the Conference League this season look at the fixture against a team they've never heard of and think, I'm not bothered about that. I'm not even going to lace my boots. I'm going to stroll around in the warm-up. I'm going to come out with a weird mindset around this game, not get injured, make sure I'm fit for the weekend. That's genuinely how I think the players have viewed the Conference League.
Can I tell you something, Egal, for real? The fact that I would rather reach the latter stages of the Champions League, challenge for the Champions League, and actually going for an easy run to Europa League. That is not how why we watch football. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, I want to win a competition. And no one is guaranteed to exit from the group stage. Girona thought they're going to go to the latter stages of the Champions League, and they didn't make it. You know what I mean? Out of the group stage. Like, there are teams like Aston Villa that made it to the quarterfinals. That you almost beat Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal. Like, I don't think that people, I would rather win Europa League than actually try to win the Champions League. Absolutely. I would rather play in my local team and not play for the Premier League because I'm guaranteed to win there. No, I would rather try to play for the Premier League to win it.
No,
I'd rather score 2 goals in the Prem than go and play non-league and get 50 goals in a season.
Listen, I said I'd rather be in a semi-final of the Champions League than be in the final of the Conference or Europa League. And guys said to me, "You're crazy."
No, I don't know if I agree with that. I'd much rather be playing in the Champions League. Is in my opinion, the elite competition. And I think if you're in that and you're playing in it every season, that holds more weight than winning financially as well, by the way. It holds way more value. And I think it holds more weight in terms of prestige, like Patrick was saying, than potentially winning a Conference League. I don't know about if you crash out in the group stages, maybe winning a Europa League is better. But other than that, I think as long as you get through the group stages and you're in the knockout rounds of the Champions League, that's better than the 2 competitions below, I think. Because you're going to play the biggest teams.
The people that just say, for example, I only care about the trophy. I get it. A win is a win. But at the end, there are weights to the trophies. For example, Champions League is much, much bigger than FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Challenging for the league is bigger than just, like, would you rather, I'm just going to give people, would you rather have your chance of challenging for the league, right, for the season? You don't know if you're going to win it or not, but you're guaranteed to challenge. Or would you play your second team and go to win the FA Cup? Absolutely challenge for the league. That will give me the chance to win the bigger competition than winning a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. People talk with different mindsets about, yeah, I won the trophy. No, the FA Cup is not the same. If I'm having a chance of winning the Premier League or the Champions League, that is the pinnacle of football. Like winning the Euro League or the Champions League is the pinnacle of football.
I'll take it to another level.
Okay. So, I like these scenarios, Egal.
I was on a stream. I was on a stream with certain people, and I'm not even going to call them out, but they said to me they value the league, the Champions League, as the same as any other trophy. To the level where they said if they could get 2 FA Cups or 1 league title, they would always take the more trophies.
No, but Lee told me this already. And me and Osam sat there opening our mouth and like our eyes are coming out like, no. 1 Champions League is equal 2 league titles. That is just how it works.
He said he would take 2 league cups over Champions League. I'm like, you're crazy.
No, but no. What?
He said he would take 2 league cups over a Champions League.
I actually ask. Every time Lee told me this, and he has his opinions, and every time someone told me this, right? I said, I swear to God, a big club, and I actually can bet on this. A top club will not keep a manager for 10 years if he wins the cup every year. He will sack him after the 3rd, 4th year if he doesn't win the league or the Champions League. That tells you exactly how big clubs value the cups. He will sack the manager 3rd, 4th year. I'm telling you, if a manager wins the double in England, a Man United manager wins the double every year, 5 years into that thing, they're going to sack him. You haven't even won a league or the Champions League.
Ancelotti and Conte
would be
both won the
Arteta
FA
in.
Cup.
You know, Lee would be Arteta in if he won the League Cup this season.
It's either you think
that's different though. I can hear that. I don't think in that quote alone, I don't know the context, but in that quote alone, if Arteta had won a League Cup this season and got the Real Madrid fixture and everything, I think I can buy into that, right? I can understand why someone would say that.
I agree.
But I wouldn't be able to hear someone saying they'd rather have 2 League Cups over a Champions League, because I don't think 10 League Cups hold the same weight as 1 Champions League. So I can hear why people are suggesting that a League Cup this season could have converted their opinion on Arteta, because I think Arteta really should have valued the domestic trophies a little bit more than what he did, I think.
Can I tell you something, guys? Winning a cup, either FA Cup or the League Cup, shouldn't change your opinion about how do you see this manager as a good manager or not. The way you look at a manager, in my opinion, is that, do you think this manager, as a top club, and I'm talking all of us here support top clubs, right? That aim to win Premier Leagues or Champions Leagues, right? All of us here. We aren't here for the ride of, like, with all due respect to the other teams. But I'm telling you, if my manager win the cup every year and he's not doing well, I wouldn't change my view on him. Is he a good coach? Does he set up the team well because he won the cup? If he wins the Champions League and he wins against Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, the Chelseas, the Man Cities, these are big games. With all due respect, like Liverpool lost against Plymouth and no one changed their tune about Arne Slot because he won the league.
No, right? They could see how well his team were playing, and they could see the improvement.
But imagine if Arne Slot came in and they're like 7th or 8th or 9th and they're playing terrible football. He's not utilizing his players, and they go on a good run and just win the cup.
But you know it did transform, I think, the outside view on Eddie Howe being a good manager. Mm-hmm. I think it did. I think Eddie Howe winning the League Cup has put his name into higher regard amongst the Premier League fan base as a whole than what it was before he did that. I think a lot of people had question marks about him. A lot of people said, would he be a nearly man? Could he win trophies? And I think him doing it at Newcastle was giving him probably a little bit of extra time at Newcastle. And I think other fans now look at him and think, okay, he could win a club a trophy if he went to a better team.
But in contrast, Dan, people still thought that Ten Hag is a terrible coach, even though he won the cup and the Carabao Cup.
Because the football was so bad.
Exactly the point. Winning the cup, the Carabao Cup, doesn't change my opinion about a coach.
Spurs win the trophy and Ange walks. People are going to criticize Spurs for letting him leave after winning them their first trophy. If he does.
But that's okay. But
no, really. I don't think so. I think
there will. I think there will be a lot of people who will criticize Spurs the same way they criticized them when they sacked Jose going into.
No, but there's a difference there. Look at where this guy is sitting. He's lost 18 to 20 games. Nah. I
know, but I understand there's people who think differently to us. They're going to criticize Spurs and say, you guys sacked the first manager who helped you guys win a trophy.
Yeah, but look at where they are, though.
Can I tell you something?
Know if they'll be able to sack him, by the way.
Spurs
I think financially.
I think he's going to walk.
No, then think about the money that he'd be losing. Turning.
Think about the biggest FU to a fan base who.
I don't think people think like that, Egal.
Nah, I'd take the money. I'd take.
I'm not even bantering. I'm being dead serious. He faced so much abuse from his own fans.
Yeah, but what does that get him? Like his family. What does that get him?
He leaves at the ultimate high. Sometimes managers.
No. Nobody. I'm telling you, he leaves. No top club is giving him that much money.
Exactly.
That wage. No top club is giving him that much money, bro.
He won't. No manager in this day and age will walk.
Yeah. No,
there's too much money on the line.
I think Ange walking after winning them the Europa League. If he does, I don't want.
I think what he does.
It's the mic drop, isn't it?
But I think what he does, he calls Antonio Conte and he says, "How do I get out of here?" He says, "Say that in the press conference. They will have mutual agreement with you."
He's like, "I tried all season. I won the Europa League."
I'm being serious, by the way. I think he has one of the nastiest. I think Ange Postecoglou has it in him to have one of the nastiest press conferences we have ever seen in England. And I think he's going to call out everyone. So for them to sack him or mutual consent to whatever that is that they do. And Postecoglou, when is the last manager that resigned from his post? Nobody. Because the money is enormous for managers to resign nowadays.
He has to get sacked.
They have to get sacked. By the way, for the people that, I know that a lot of you guys, we still have over 800 people. Big up all the people that joined from the football terrace. Guys, we are 200. We are almost at 200 likes. Big up, guys. Hit that like button, people. I'm just going to tell you guys something. For the people in the chat that say Fabrizio Bomba about Huijsen, we all knew that Huijsen will sign for Real Madrid. It's not a bomba this time. It's just a here we go. The contracts have been signed. Everyone pulled out of the race like 2 weeks ago or something, or a week ago. So nobody was in for him, to be honest. And Real Madrid signing Højlund, good for them. Are they going to go after Konate now? Maybe. I think Konate will be sold this window, actually, if Liverpool don't make him sign a new contract. They're not going to go into last season with him not signing. But we'll talk about that later.
Thing again, isn't that?
No, they are not. They're going to, if Konate doesn't sign the contract within a time limit, they're going to sell the guy for like 30, 40, 50 million. They're definitely not having him. Like, to be honest with you, like, Gyokeres, Arsenal are going to sign Gyokeres. We know that for sure. Rodrigo, would you rather Rodrigo or Nico? Okay, no. I have to rephrase the question for everyone. Guys in the chat, hit the like button. Would you rather Rodrigo for 90 million or Nico Williams for 15 million?
Rodrigo, simple.
For 90 million.
Yeah.
How
That would hinder you. Okay, you have a budget. Okay, hear me out. This is a very good situation. You're going to spend and get Zubamendi. You're going to get Gyokeres. You have 90 million pound left.
I think Rodrigo.
Okay, hold on. Let me just present the options. You get Nico Williams for 50 and you have 40 million left. They can get an attacking midfielder. You know, you can get someone, maybe like, I don't know, Morgan Gibbs-White is 50, 60. You can get an Eze, someone from that ilk. I don't know who. You can go and sign an attacking midfielder 40 million. Or you put all your eggs in Rodrigo's basket and you go next season with the same midfield, adding Zubamendi. Which scenario would you take?
I would take the Rodrigo because we need X factor. Rodrigo is a very, very dangerous player in the final third. He's shown what he can do in the Champions League. He's helped teams win league titles. He has that X factor. And I view Rodrigo in the same light as what I view Alexis Sanchez at Barcelona. Somebody who is about to pop, who could blow up in their next role, wherever they end up in their next role. He could be one of the main talismans of the team, be a massive difference maker. Now, Nico Williams, I rate Nico Williams, don't get me wrong, but I still think he's a little bit more raw. He needs a little bit more development. He hasn't shown the same level of goal scoring or creativity as Rodrigo.
So is Rodrigo, by the way. So is Rodrigo this season. He hasn't been amazing. People didn't watch.
No, I know he hasn't. But what I can, but from Rodrigo, I can see I can see the talent. I can see the amount of.
I think Nico Williams is more talented than Rodrigo, but fine.
Fair play. I just think Rodrigo's more of a game changer and a clutch player, and that's what we're looking for. I don't know about Nico Williams.
If you say that means you hold, because you guys, a lot of you have said Saka is much better than Rodrigo. If you think that Saka's much better than Rodrigo, how can Rodrigo be that game different? Because Saka is, with all due respect to Saka's a very good player. But Saka this time is not Lamine Yamal, you know what I mean? Like, he isn't at that level yet, Saka, and he's 23 already. So how do you say that Rodrigo's a game changer? Unless you think Saka is like the guy that is like, can carry a team or something.
No, because Mo, honestly, I think Arsenal for the longest time have been trying to do the cheaper way and to trying to cheap their and spending money for 40, looking at the value for the player and how much
Poundland, yeah.
Get. And I just sometimes I think it's just simple. Rodrigo is worth more because he has done more in his career, proven more, and coming into this team, he's going to be more of a talented player.
He's just 24, believe it or not, just 24.
That will not need the same level of adjustment, in my opinion. Where Nico Williams, I think, is more of a gamble, and you're spending half the money, but you're taking more of a gamble. Where Rodrigo, I think he comes into our team and he makes a difference immediately. Where Nico Williams, I don't know how much of a difference he makes immediately.
I'm not sure Williams is better.
I don't know how good Nico Williams is. And guess what? Nico Williams wants 200. Nico Williams,
Dan is right, though. Dan is right.
Did you hear what Dan said?
Yeah, he's right. Dan is right. That is not better than Martinelli.
I don't know how much of a difference he is because we've not seen him in a team where he's playing in an attacking team where it's so much better. We've seen him for his national team.
Only the Euros,
We've seen him play for Atletico Bilbao. Let's be honest. Everyone here knows Rodrigo is a level above Nico Williams.
Yeah, Rodrigo comes with that winning edge as well. Like, he's been in teams that he's seen how they got over the line. And I think what Arsenal need right now is players who understand how to get the job done. And I think someone like Rodrigo comes in, he's been in elite dressing rooms. He'll understand what it takes. And even if he isn't a leader in terms of being vocal on the pitch, he'll step up in the biggest moments. Because we've seen him do it for Real Madrid in huge moments. He's been there. Wasn't he one of the keys in one of the comebacks last season?
Yeah, also the comebacks against us. He dunked on us twice.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's it. Man City.
If we
true.
have a choice between Sesko and Gyokeres, I'm taking Gyokeres because of the experience. If we have a choice between Rodrigo and Nico Williams, even though it costs double, you get what you pay for.
You're right, though. I think you're right. This time for Arsenal, you must be done with players that have potential. No more potential. I think now you need go-getters. And you're right, man.
Yeah.
Spend it, man. Spend the money. I'm
Yeah,
okay with
because
that.
if I hear, oh, the other option is go get Isak and get Leroy Sané on a free. Like at that right there, I think that's the lesser option of Gyokeres and Rodrigo. I'd rather get Gyokeres and Rodrigo than think about spending all that money. We're not going to get Isak, let's be honest.
Do you know what? I'd probably
Alvarez
take
won't leave
Leroy
Atletico.
Sané, Isak, you know.
You'd rather take
Maybe.
Leroy Sané and Isak.
Yeah, because I think Isak is guaranteed to perform in the Premier League, whereas I don't know if we know that about Gyokeres yet. I think
So
if you could get Isak, I absolutely would take.
150
And
or something.
okay, so Isak
How do you sell it?
and Leroy
Isak for
Sané on a
150.
free. That's your
Yeah.
budget. Your budget is Isak and Leroy
100.
Sané on a free.
Son is 29, man. Son is 29. Wow.
Or
Yeah, I'd probably take-
or you get
Or
Gyokeres
Gyokeres
and Rodrigo.
for
No, I'd take
100.
Isak's
So
goal.
150 for Isak by himself, or 150 split between Gyokeres and Rodrigo.
Yeah, but
Which
then you
one?
have a little
No,
free
no.
transfer in there of
Gyokeres-
Sané.
Gyokeres and Rodrigo are not. Gyokeres is
60
about like
and 90. 60 and 90.
Yeah, okay. So I hear you. Okay, which option is better?
Isak
I'm not-
on his
I'm
own,
not taking
Egal,
Sané at
would have
29, man.
Isak
Sané at
on his
29.
own might have beat PSG, and he might have won you the Premier League. You know, he's that good.
And you know
I
something?
genuinely-
With the likes of his countrymen who scored 50 plus goals.
But
over
then
the last
instead of having Sterling in the squad this season, you get Leroy Sané on a free,
Son
and he's
is
probably a
29
level
though,
above
Dan.
Sterling.
Nah, but bro,
Son is
Leroy
29.
A level.
Sané.
One
Yeah,
level.
Leroy
29.
Sané.
What's
Leroy
29 in this
Sané.
day and age?
29
Leroy
is
Sané.
nothing,
30,
people.
32,
Wallahi,
33.
29 is nothing.
No,
29.
Leroy
I'm
Sané.
29. You're making me feel old,
One
Patrick.
second. I don't think
You
Leroy
don't play
Sané is
football.
I don't think Leroy Sané is a
I
bad
don't really
signing.
in the
But
Prem, but I'm still playing.
I would rather the Rodrigo Gyokeres combination than Isak. by
Really?
himself.
You know,
Yeah.
Isak, like I don't watch enough of Gyokeres.
If
but
it was
Isak,
Nico Williams and Gyokeres, I hear you. I'm taking Isak. But I think Rodrigo's that
by
much
the
of a
way,
game
I
changer.
know that we're not a stats people, but I really compared Nico Williams and who's having a very, very bad season and Rodrigo stats in La Liga. Pretty fucking similar.
What is he on, Rodrigo? Because Nico Williams for ages was on 1, and then he's
Yeah,
got a
I
few
gotta
goals
go.
on 5,
Gotta
isn't he?
My son from daycare.
Yeah. Go ahead. What about to finish this? To be honest with you, Nico Williams is on 5 and 5. Rodrigo is in 6 and 5, basically.
Wow.
In
Nico
terms
Williams'
of,
form is quite recent, though, I think. For like
has-
months, he was on 1 goal.
And that's in Rodrigo.
There
we
are
always
other
look at
things,
him
to
in
be honest
Champions
with
League,
you.
isn't it? It's in the Champions League where he steps
there are
up.
other,
Always in the
yes,
Champions
there are other things like Rodrigo, because it's Real Madrid, he completes more passes, he gets on the ball more, you know what I mean? But Nico Williams, for example, attempts way more dribbles than Rodrigo, and he, of course, completes more because he attempts a lot more. Nico Williams is someone who is a risk taker. Like someone who will get the ball, run at defenders. He's not going to pass it. He's not going to play the position-based football. I don't know. I like Nico Williams, to be honest.
I don't even
really
think
like.
Nico Williams is Bilbao's best player. I'm sure he isn't. I think they prefer that Sanchez.
Which
And
one?
they might even prefer his brother. There's Omar Sanchez. He's an attacking midfielder, plays up front sometimes.
I don't watch a lot of Bilbao. to be
Yeah, I
honest
think they
with you.
prefer
don't watch a
him.
lot
I
of
think I honestly think. By the way, he might get a move if someone's willing to pay. Ohan Sanchez, is that it? And I actually think that he might be their better player. Good, like a good pro. Like I've watched him a couple of times in the Europa League. Really impressive.
Somebody was telling me that both brothers stink. So somebody told me who watches La Liga. It's like both
They're
brothers
not bad. They're not
Yeah,
bad.
he says apparently Nico only looked great in the Euros, but it says apart from that he hasn't had a season. That's why
Yeah.
he's saying whoa. So I don't know. To be honest with
He's
you,
not that bad.
I am more surprised Rodrigo is 24 years old. I'm shocked. I thought he was
Yeah.
older than that. I seriously thought he was older than 24. So he's a good investment. Because
I
when I was
think
complaining the other day, I thought it was go ahead.
I would take Isak on the fact that the goals, I think, are on their own are enough to probably get you over the line. I don't think Rodrigo on his own added into this Arsenal team is enough to get them over the line, because I still think
Isak.
that I think they'll still have games where they go, oh, I wish we didn't have Havertz up front. I wish we didn't have to play Moreno up front today. I think they'll still have games, whereas, you know, most games, if you had a striker scoring a load of goals and you had Saka scoring goals, and then you go, oh, I wish we didn't have to play Martinelli today, but Saka's got 1 and Isak's got 2. You can probably deal with it. But, you know, say Rodrigo like doesn't score and he only gets 7 in the season in his first year in the Prem. I just feel like it wouldn't be enough. I'd take Isak all day, to be honest with you.
I would take Isak all day. Let me do this so we can get out of here. UEFA Champions League or Invest? Or what? I bet Bayern Leverkusen would trade last year for a UEFA Champions League. 100%. Bayern Leverkusen.
I don't know. I think not winning it for so long, then going unbeaten to beat Bayern Munich is pretty massive in Germany in their history. I think that they might not, because they would have been like, we still never won it. I think winning the Bundesliga, the manner that they
No. It's saying UEFA Champions League or Invincible. So yeah, I hear Invincible might be.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I think they would have. Didn't they lose the Europa League final?
Yes, against Atalanta.
Yeah, I reckon they'll take what they did last season over winning the Champions League. But because they were so far off of winning either at one point, I think they'll take doing what they did first. Just beat Bayern is massive. And then to do it unbeaten is huge.
AMT. So some Arsenal fans say Crystal Palace better season winning the FA Cup than Arsenal ending second. Is anybody? Some Crystal Palace. Okay, I'm going to say something. For Crystal Palace, that is actually very true because of how big the club is.
Pound achievement-wise, yeah.
100%. Crystal Palace, if they win the FA Cup, has had a better season than Arsenal because of how big the club is and the history of the club. So yes, AMT. Rodrigo with Martinelli as backup. Wow. Yeah, that's not bad. That's good.
But it doesn't win you the league though, does it?
But
it doesn't win you the league.
You need a striker though.
Yeah.
You need a striker in front of that.
Yeah. I would love £1 for every time I hear Isak's name. He is the hot property.
Yeah.
He is the hot property. So you gotta know that, Craig, by now. He is the hot property. You have to know this. He is the guy for everyone.
Especially, by the way, Craig, if Arteta gets Isak at any point, he'll be and they get Zubimendi done, he'll have his Sociedad like link up all together. Well, I know he wasn't there, but he's obviously like a fan of Sociedad as a kid.
100%.
He'll have who was Marino, yeah, Marino, Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Isak.
What a team!
100%. But listen, people, I want to thank everyone that joined us. It was actually a very good show. It's actually I actually got entertained. Guys, we have 540 votes and we only have 225 likes. I think that is very unacceptable. You guys like to vote, hit that like button because it helps the channel. We still have 800 people and we aren't even on 300 likes. Get the likes up so you can get more people watching. Hit the like button. Thank you, Patrick. We didn't talk transfers. We didn't talk about the FA Cup. We didn't talk about Man United versus Chelsea.
It was a football chat, wasn't it?
To be honest with you, I like these kind of shows. I love them. It's just different. It's change. And hopefully we can have more. Hit that like button, people. If you are still here, let's get to 300 likes. I will see you guys later today on MHF. And we are out of here, people.